Good evening and welcome to the NCWLIFE Evening News. I'm Jefferson Robbins, here to provide all the news you need going into the weekend. Before we get to those news stories, let's take a quick look outside this here weather window. We are looking at a beautiful day throughout the north central Washington area. There was a lot of clear skies, a lot of sun. I took a little walk today. That was really, really nice, except for the part where I almost fell down in front of the Wenatchee Police Department. These clear skies and the sun that we saw this afternoon doesn't tell us much about that kind of thing or what to expect when we leave the house on Saturday morning. It's going to stay cold with lows at or below freezing every night. So the thing to watch for each morning when you step outside is a chance of freezing fog. With no precipitation really in the forecast, that's the one challenging travel condition to prepare for. Dan Kuntz will be along a little bit later with the full weather outlook. But now a few of the stories that we are following for you tonight. COVID-19 cases in the region have taken another huge leap, with 226 new cases reported in Chelan and Douglas counties alone. Confluence Health says the pandemic has brought hospital resources to a crisis point, and a state mental health expert offers some ways to cope with the relentless stream of bad COVID news. But first, we begin tonight with a dramatic chase. Two suspects in a set of Wenatchee vehicle prowls allegedly fled from police on Thursday, crashed into other vehicles, and led multiple agencies on a cross-county chase that ended near Cle Elum. The alleged driver is identified as 27-year-old Miles Barry Davis, his passenger, 31-year-old Amrico Deshawn Flight. Both are from Seattle. Wenatchee police say the two men used a rented Dodge minivan while stealing a purse and a backpack from parked cars at Walla Walla and Rotary Parks just before 11:30 a.m. on Thursday. Police located the van and followed it, but Davis allegedly drove across the George Seller Bridge at high speed and collided with another vehicle. The chase then went north on Sunset Highway, back west across the Old-Bastion Bridge, and finally south up Blewett Pass at speeds up to 100 miles an hour. Washington State Patrol troopers finally stopped the van in Kittitas County and arrested the two occupants. Both are now in the Chelan County Jail. They face likely charges, including theft, stolen property, vehicle prowling, eluding police, and reckless endangerment. While already soaring COVID-19 cases in Chelan and Douglas counties took another huge leap today, with 226 new cases reported. That beat the two counties' previous one-day record for cases by almost a factor of 100. The Friday report also pushed the two counties to 1,014 cases per 100,000 residents over the past 2 weeks, by far the highest rate of spread since the pandemic began. There are currently 13 Chelan County residents and 5 Douglas County residents hospitalized with the virus. The health district said there are 27 people being treated for COVID-19 at Central Washington Hospital, and that's led Confluence Health to cancel all non-emergency medical procedures that would require an overnight stay. As of Thursday, there were 9 COVID-19 patients in the hospital's intensive care unit, with 6 on ventilators. 6 of the Wenatchee Hospital's patients are from Grant County, which is also experiencing a significant outbreak. 81 new cases and 10 more deaths confirmed yesterday. 7 of the 10 were residents of long-term care facilities in Moses Lake and Soap Lake. It was the second day in a row with that many deaths connected to nursing homes, and 3 more such cases are under investigation. The health district directly linked the outbreaks in Grant County senior homes to a so-called super spreader wedding held near Ritzville November 16th and attended by more than 300 people. The additional deaths announced Thursday bring the total number of COVID-19 deaths in Grant County to 54. Almost half of those deaths have been since November. Well, the CEO of Confluence Health, Dr. Peter Rutherford, made another urgent plea Friday for residents to help limit the spread of COVID-19, saying, quote, "The hospital is full. The pandemic has killed 36 people in the Wenatchee Valley alone, most after lengthy hospitalization." Rutherford says that's taken a deep toll at Central Washington Hospital.
I'm here on the 3rd floor of Central Washington Hospital, and I've just come out of the area where the COVID patients are being cared for here, and we need your help. Our healthcare system is on the brink. We need you to stay home and wear your mask whenever you are around people not in your usual household. We're not going to make this argument this time with graphs and data. We've been there, we've done that. The reserve capacity that any emergency system maintains to keep everyone safe is spent. The hospital is full, and pulling staff from clinics to support those who are sick and dying in the hospital. If it hasn't happened to you yet, understand that canceled clinic visits are most likely the result of resources being pulled towards those sick with COVID-19. Our nurses and physicians are also spent. They drive home close to tears at night, and the next morning put on a brave face and come back into the fight. We need you to stay home and wear your mask whenever you are around people you don't live with. None of us plan to slice our finger or break our ankle or develop appendicitis. All of us plan to go to the hospital when a medical crisis strikes. But the hospital has limits, and if people continue to ignore well-proven COVID precautions like masking, distancing, and hygiene, the hospital won't be able to suture your finger, set your fracture, or remove your appendix. It will be full. We need you to stay home and wear your mask whenever you're around people who don't leave with you. Please.
An important message. Coming up next, flight and aviation mechanical students get an early Christmas present from the Boeing Company. And you can sit back and watch Douglas County's newest fire station begin to take shape. I'm Jefferson Robbins, and you're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News. Stay with us.
You love to help others. You need a solid career. You can have it all with help from Charter College. Our 10-month medical assistant program prepares you to work in healthcare settings like physician offices, rehab centers, and clinics. You'll learn to take patient vitals, assist with exams, administer injections, and maintain medical records. When you're ready to launch a rewarding healthcare career, visit chartercollege.edu because we work to get you to work.
It's estimated that 1/3 of Americans do not have a financial plan. At D.A. Davidson, their advisors are working to change that because they understand the importance of planning for the future. At D.A. Davidson, they believe in partnering together to build a strategy tailored to your needs. They spend the time and have the knowledge to help keep your financial future on track. Let D.A. Davidson Financial Advisors of Wenatchee put the strength of advice to work for you.
I'm Tom from Alpine Air Heating and Cooling. At Alpine Air, we think of ourselves as customer service-oriented retailers. When you make an appointment, please visit our store, meet our people, see our shop. We are serious about heating and air conditioning. Carrier and Alpine Air are offering huge factory rebates and financing options for all your needs. Turn to the experts at Carrier and Alpine Air. Call for your free replacement estimate. Heat and air, call Alpine Air, 662-6846.
Welcome back. Big Bend Community College's Aviation Maintenance Technology and Commercial Pilot programs received a $50,000 gift this week from the Boeing Corporation. It was part of $10 million given away by Boeing and charitable grants to 95 nonprofit organizations across the state. The grants focus specifically on education and workforce development for military, veterans, the environment, and racial equity. Boeing has conducted flight training and testing in Moses Lake for many years. Big Bend says the grant will be used to purchase equipment and support student scholarships. The college received an earlier $100,000 gift from Boeing last fall. Well, Douglas County Fire District 2 is undergoing some changes with the firing last week of Fire Chief Dave Baker. One project launched under Baker's tenure is the new fire station currently under construction off Cascade Avenue near the Otabashian Bridge. The district released a time-lapse video taken from August through November 17th to show the first phase of the station taking shape. Have a look. Wish my home improvement projects went that fast. The district hopes to move into that completed fire station next June. You're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News. Coming up next, a state mental health expert talks about what you can do to stay emotionally healthy while coping with the pandemic. That plus weather with Dan Kuntz and sports with Eric Granstrom still to come on the NCWLIFE Evening News. Stay with us.
Mary Maids of Wenatchee believes a clean home is a happy home. Mary Maids provides holiday cleaning services to cheer about. Don't let the seasonal cleaning ruin the festive fun. Mary Maids can simplify your life at a great value. It's never too soon to start planning a holiday-perfect home. Mary Maids of Wenatchee happily offers a worry-free guarantee. Locally owned and operated, let Mary Maids do the cleaning while you focus on your family and friends. Call Mary Maids today. Winter is a great time to trade in your current hot tub. Turn your old hot tub into money with Blue Lagoon Pool & Spa's trade-in program. You can save $500 to $1,000 off of any new artesian spa or take advantage of a free Bluetooth music experience. Blue Lagoon Pool & Spa recommends draining your hot tub every 3 months. Ask us about our drain and refill special. Stop on by Blue Lagoon Pool & Spa today.
Choose the pros, Alignment Pros. When your vehicle needs brakes, shocks, struts, or alignment, choose the experts in their field. Alignment Pros and Express Lube with a 5-star rating. The work they perform on your vehicle is as impeccable as their shop. With state-of-the-art equipment, Alignment Pros can handle all large or small vehicles, specialty cars, lifted or lowered. Alignment Pros does them all. Keep your car in top shape at Alignment Pros and Express Lube in East Wenatchee.
Welcome back. If you're battling mental health issues related to the COVID-19 pandemic, you are not alone. The stress and the trauma, even if neither you nor anyone you know have tested positive, are real. Dr. Kira Mouseth is a clinical psychology instructor at Seattle University and a member of the behavioral health strike team with the Washington Department of Health. She says cases of depression and anxiety are way up in the state as the pandemic emergency enters its 10th month.
We are experiencing the disillusionment phase of this recovery cycle, and we're forecasting a bit of a longer extension of that phase than what might be typical for other disasters. So this is the time where many of us, if not most people, are feeling really burnt out, exhausted, really overwhelmed, especially as we navigate the stress associated with the higher infection rates that we're seeing and the hospitalizations. The risk of suicide and depression and hopelessness, as well as substance use, sort of historically are at their highest during this phase of any disaster. And that's it's actually pretty consistent with what we're seeing clinically and the things that my colleagues and I are hearing from our patients right now. Between symptoms of depression and anxiety together, we're seeing already numbers close to around the 3 million mark in Washington state for people who are experiencing those concerns. So many of those symptoms are related to the social isolation, the changes in lifestyle and employment for some, fears around the unknown about what's happening right now and what's still coming around the corner. And then the stress and pressure of balancing all of the things that lots of us are juggling with childcare and work and school and that sort of thing. These are real challenges for everybody, and particularly for healthcare workers. When you think about what they're experiencing right now too, they're just as taxed emotionally as the rest of us, physically and mentally, and even more right now with the things that they're risking, trying to help, keep everybody safe and get everybody healthy as quickly as possible. So something to consider for those folks as well. So things to do from a behavioral health perspective: try to get rest and sleep on a regular cycle. Trying to practice like sort of a routine for yourself with sleep is a really strong recommendation right now. Exhaustion makes everything worse. It makes us have less of an ability to regulate our emotions and to sort of handle the day-to-day things that come up. All of those symptoms are going to get a little bit better if you can get some more sleep. Find some very small things that you can do every day to give yourself a sense of peace or some space, even if it's from your own family, just to step outside for a minute and take a breath, get some fresh air. Remember that resilience is developed through purpose, connection, flexibility, adaptability, and hope. Another strategy right now that is particularly sort of appropriate at this time of year is this idea of active gratitude. That's something that we can practice by paying a little bit more attention to the things that are going well in our lives, because there are those things. It's easy to ignore right now. Our brain doesn't want to pay attention to those things, but attending to them is going to help us feel better. If that's hard to do, finding ways to express it outwardly towards other people is another good thing to do. It's kind of a 2-for-1. So you can support somebody else by showing gratitude to them, and you also lift yourself up by doing that a little bit as well.
Here's something I have gratitude for. It's Dan Kuntz, here to hopefully brighten us up with his take on Central Washington's long-term weather outlook. Dan?
Once again, hi television family, Dan Kuntz filling in for Grant Olson on what turned out to be a pretty good looking Friday. Things are going to change on the weekend though. Sun's going to be taking the weekend off. Details are coming up. Beautiful view from the very top of McNeil Canyon on your way up to, well, it's one of the ways you can get up to the Waterville Plateau. And of course, we're looking out over the Lake Chelan area. You can see the Chelan Butte off in the distance. Lake Chelan way off in the distance as well, and just a beautiful, beautiful day. Lake Chelan didn't quite have that low clouds and fog, that freezing fog that other locations got, especially out in the Columbia Basin. It was almost impossible to drive on I-90 anywhere between Ritzville to Vantage at times this morning. They were socked in big time, and guess what? We're going to start getting socked in too here in the Wenatchee Valley after a few days of bountiful sunshine. Things are going to change on the weekend, but one more beautiful view of McNeil Canyon while the getting is good, because again, things are going to change. First of all, let's wrap up the weather as it was today. Little on the cool side. It was very chilly this morning. A lot of people had to scrape their windshields. I was one of them. As you can see, we topped off at 37 degrees, just a little bit above normal. 22 for the overnight low. It felt colder than that. It really did. Record high 55 and an overnight low and record low of 5 degrees. We're nowhere near that, nor are we going to be anywhere near that. No precipitation. We're in a bit of a dry spell, although it's still a La Nina year, which means we're supposed to have slightly cooler temperatures and slightly more precipitation than normal. But of course, it also isn't winter yet. We got to remember that. We're still a few weeks away from the official start of winter. 8 hours and 39 minutes of daylight on this Friday as we continue to lose daylight, getting closer and closer to winter. So let's talk about the highs as you can expect on Saturday. And things are going to be cooler because the sun's not going to be warming up the earth as much as it has been over the last few days. Moses Lake out in the basin, 33 degrees, Afraid of 33, Quincy 32. You're going to be socked in with low clouds and freezing fog out in the basin. Everybody is going to be dealing with low clouds and freezing fog. In fact, there is a burn ban, a stage 1 burn ban from our friends up in the Omak Valley, Omak, Okanagan, Riverside. No outdoor burning, and you better have a wood stove that's safe enough to burn, because we're throwing pollutants up in the air. And we still have the air stagnation advisory, which is in effect until 10 o'clock on Tuesday. So what's going on out there? I'll tell you what's going on. That ridge of high pressure, it's a monster, and it's not going anywhere. It's just sitting and sitting and sitting. It kind of shifts here and there, but it's really stationary. And there are systems out there in the Pacific coast, but it's bumping into the huge ridge of high pressure. It's a monster, and it's preventing any kind of storm system from out in the Pacific to making any kind of headway. They're trying. They get right to the Pacific coast. It runs into the high pressure ridge, and that's it. And the high pressure ridge itself, that big H, which is of course sitting there and spinning just a little bit clockwise, is just stationary. It's not going anywhere, which is why they extended the air stagnation advisory all the way through Tuesday of next week. So what are we going to see for the Wenatchee Valley and most of our viewing area? Patchy freezing fog that's going to be sticking around almost throughout the course of the day. We're not going to see a great deal of sunshine on Saturday or Sunday. It's going to be gray, I guess is the best way to put it. Again, there's systems out there trying to make headway, but they run into this high pressure ridge and it says, nope, not coming in yet. And this high pressure ridge isn't going to get knocked out by a significant storm system. It's just kind of eventually going to flatten out, break down, and move away. But that's not going to happen probably till Tuesday or Wednesday of next week. And by Tuesday and Wednesday of next week, we're going to start talking about maybe a little bit of precipitation. Could see some freezing rain, could see some snow, could get it all. Look at that system, that low pressure ridge off the Pacific coast. It's going to want to pay us a visit. It ain't going to make it. It's just going to kind of twiddle its way in, if you pardon the expression. That's about the best way I can put it. So for the time being, we're stuck with low clouds and fog in the morning and low clouds and fog, I'm afraid, in the afternoon. And that's going to start.
Visit the Chelan Valley for the first annual Small Town Holiday Celebration featured at these local merchants.
Kelly's Ace Hardware is the classic American hardware store. They have what you need and the personal service to help you find the most unique gift you can't find anywhere else. A trip to Kelly's will take you to a better place. Mailboxes Chelan is your one-stop shop for all your shipping needs. With all 3 major services available under one roof, Mailboxes will find the right way to get it there on time. Please ship by December 14th and have a very Merry Christmas.
Green Motion e-bikes have rolled into Wenatchee. We've got fun, affordable e-bikes for the whole family. Portable e-bikes that fit right in the trunk of your car. Fat tire mountain bikes plus unique vintage style bikes you won't find anywhere else. Get some exercise with pedal assist or just cruise up to 20 miles per hour with the throttle. Starting under $1,000, Green Motion e-bikes are affordable fun for the whole family.
When a community comes together and gives together, we can do great things.
Giving on a more of a community scale where we can pool resources.
They're more effective.
It takes a team to make something big happen.
You know people that are working towards that goal with you.
It amplifies your ability to have an impact.
A lot of people giving a small amount can make a huge change.
It's a great thing for the community.
And now it's a sports update on the NCWLIFE channel.
And a happy Finally Friday to you. Wide receiver Josh Gordon has been conditionally reinstated by the NFL for the final 2 weeks of the season. Gordon will begin COVID-19 testing today and might join the Seahawks as early as next week if the test's negative for the coronavirus. Gordon suspended by the NFL nearly a year ago for violating the league's policies on performance-enhancing substances and substances of abuse. It was his 6th suspension since 2013 and his 5th for some form of substance abuse. Russell Wilson says he hopes Josh has taken the steps needed to improve as a person and not just a player.
Well, I literally was just told that. We just got done with walkthrough, but I think the thing with Josh is that he's an amazing receiver, a guy who was great last year for us, made some great plays. Obviously he's been a great player over his years, and all that. But I think more than anything else is it's a testament, hopefully, to just his growth, in life. You always want to see people, overcome and overcome challenges and everything else. So.
Offensive coordinator Brian Schottenheimer says Gordon could be just another tool in the chest for Seattle's offense.
Well, number one, I'm thrilled he's back. I can't wait to see him. I can't wait to catch up once he gets through all the protocols and everything. He was an unbelievable pro, Curtis. I mean, just the way he worked. He's got some stuff that he's got to do to catch up and get up to speed with the things we're doing. I don't think that will be any problem. As confident of a catcher as there is in the NFL, his hands and his ability to make plays in traffic separates him. I remember the play against Carolina on the big post route, right, where the ball's laid out there. Russ lays it out there. He goes and gets it, and he really only gets a couple of his fingertips on it, but unbelievable catch going to the ground. But more importantly, I'm just excited to see him. We'll get him up to speed, but he was awesome to have around, and I can't wait to have him back. And he gives Russ another fun toy to play with.
Once Gordon clears COVID protocols and rejoins the Seahawks, he could be available for Seattle's final 2 games against the Rams and the 49ers. Seattle continues to get healthier and healthier as the season rolls along. Chris Carson was back at running back last week after missing 4 games with an injured foot. Russell Wilson says having Carson back makes the Seahawks more physical.
I think more than anything else, it gets us super physical. Obviously with Chris and Carlos, you guys saw the Arizona game. Carlos ran extremely well, so physical. Chris Carson's one of the best players in football. So anytime you get a guy like that on your team and out there playing football and doing his thing, it's an awesome to see. You always want your teammates and guys to be able to get out there, and we get to do this for a living. This is. The reality is it's entertainment to you guys, and it's fun, and it's entertaining for us. But it's also, our living, and it's a blessing to have it and to be able to do it, and just to be able to safe enough to get out there and just, God's blessed us with this ability. And I think with Chris, he's got so much talent. I mean, there's not anybody that has more talent than he does, I don't think, out there. I mean, the things that he can do, catching, running, throwing, jumping. Yeah, I remember the Carolina Panthers play where he flipped over the guy laying on his feet. I mean, I could never do that. So just watching all the things he can do. So to have him and his mentality and back out there is always a great thing.
Brian Schottenheimer was happy to have Carson back last week, but knows any rushing yards going to be hard to come by this weekend against the New York Giants.
But I think you sum up Chris's game with the touchdown run on the little trap play that we ran, where really well blocked all the way across the board, really well blocked. But he was able to finish that run. He's just such a strong finisher. He's got a nose for the end zone. And that ignites a group. It ignites a unit, and it was awesome to have him back. But this is a really good run defense. They're really big inside. They got a lot of size. Linebackers do a nice job of dissecting runs, and Martinez is a really good football player. So another good challenge. Each and every week you face these defenses that have a handful of names, and the Giants have their names, but it's just a really sound, well-coached group that will be very difficult opponent.
Seattle and New York kick off at 1:05 Sunday at Lumen Field, with a game to be broadcast on Fox Sports. Well, Washington remained winless in men's college basketball with a 14-point loss at Utah last night. Alfonso Plummer scored 21 points. Timmy Allen added 14, and Utah used an 18-0 run midway through the second half to pull away for the 76-62 victory over Washington in the Pac-12 opener for both schools. Quade Green tied his career high with 21 points, but the Huskies continued to struggle at the offensive end. Washington has shot under 40% in all three of its games so far. Nate Roberts had 12 points and 13 rebounds. Huskies made just 2 of 14 three-pointers in the second half. This is the first 0-3 start for Washington since the 2002-03 season. Huskies off until next week when they will host Seattle University. Meanwhile, the Husky football team celebrates Senior Day tomorrow in Seattle. Even though seniors have an extra year of eligibility because of COVID, Washington will still salute its senior prior to the game against Stanford tomorrow. Huskies will try to remain unbeaten as the season with its 1 o'clock kickoff at Alaska Airlines Field at Husky Stadium. Game will be broadcast on Fox. Well, the last time Washington State played on a Sunday was 1988 in the Alamo Bowl. For the 6th time in team history, it'll play a Sunday game, Sunday afternoon at 4:30 against the 20th ranked USC Trojans. Cougars have been off since a loss to Oregon due to COVID. In fact, this weekend's game was moved to Sunday to allow more time for USC players to clear COVID protocols. Game will be broadcast on FS1. Here's what we have on our channel this weekend as far as sports is concerned. I'll be Matt side along with my dad tonight at Wenatchee High School for Big Nine wrestling between the Panthers and Eastmont Wildcats. Gets underway at 7 o'clock. Saturday is a basketball doubleheader with Eastmont hosting Sunnyside. Grant Olson has a play-by-play for the girls game at 2, followed by the boys game at 7 o'clock. Our checker will bring us action Sunday of Wenatchee Wild's Twinville. Well, the Wild hosted the Trail Smoke Eaters last January 24th and 25th. We'll air both games on Sunday. First puck will drop at 2 o'clock, followed by a game 2 at 7. Have a great weekend. Stay safe and sane. We'll see you again on Monday. Jefferson, back to you.
Thank you, Eric. That's going to do it for our newscast tonight. For more on these stories and other news from around North Central Washington, you can find us on Facebook or our website, ncwlife.com. And if you see news happening, we want to hear from you. You can send us an email, news@ncwlife.com, or give us a call, 888-6295. I'm Jefferson Robbins. I'll be back here with you next week each night at 5, 6, and 10. Stay healthy this weekend. Don't forget your mask.
Hey everyone, Fletcher and Amy Ellingson here from Live It Up. Join us every week as we answer your questions on health, wealth, and relationships.
We're all about you creating a life that you love, so tune in to Live It Up.